South Africa is seen as one of the most progressive African countries, being the first and one of the only African countries to adopt LGBTQ+ laws, such as same-sex marriage. So one might say South Africa is pretty progressive, not to mention the fact that it's Pride Month. A few years ago, this guy, Matt Walsh, took the world by storm with the simple question of,
what is a woman?
So I obviously find this super intriguing. There have been ongoing conversations about what is a woman. Me being me, I wanted to know if the sentiment was shared in South Africa and what people thought and if people could define a woman. I did what made the most sense for me and decided to go to Wits University to ask this question of what is a woman? What is a woman?
Bro, I don't know how to answer the question.
Like, we're all females, but we're not all women. Oh.
Well,
okay, it's a very complicated subject because I guess a lot of people are hopped on biological sex, gender, and gender identity, which are like three different things because it's all like biological sex has to do with chromosomes, and then gender has to do with like the society that you're in, and gender identity is basically how you identify. And I think what makes a woman, if we're going by gender identity, is how you identify. Like, it really doesn't matter about like anything else, I guess, because there's like a lot of debate, like you have to look like a woman to be a woman, but I feel like it's how you feel inside yourself to be a woman is what makes you a woman.
Yeah.
Is basically someone who's like showing just like, you know, feminine characteristics. Doesn't have to be, you know, that traditional someone expressing like a certain genitalia or something like that. A woman can be anyone who wants to identify themselves as a woman is a woman, guys. It's Pride Month, so
Okay. Shout out to Pride Month. That was very safe. Is that your honest opinion, or you try not to get cancelled? Do you want to try again?
So I feel like my idea of a woman is based on my religion. I'm Christian.
Okay.
So in the Bible it says that a woman is someone who speaks with kindness.
Okay.
And speaks with good wisdom to other people. So for me, that's just kind of what a good woman does, is she is kind to other people, but she also impart her own good knowledge to other people. So that's what it is for me.
So kindness and knowledge.
Yes.
What is a woman?
It's a very tricky question, Chief, but not in a controversial way, but
Yeah.
I think biologically speaking, women have vagina and boobs, men penis. I think that's what differentiates between the two, biologically speaking.
So I think a woman is the epitome of perseverance. That's just what I've learned from the woman in my life. So whatever you make of that, I think that's what a woman is.
It's like opposite of a man, biologically.
Maybe the brain is different. I don't know.
What if someone says, I feel like a woman and I identify as a woman, then?
Nah, bro, that's them, bro. It's not a choice, bro.
As for gender-wise, I think that's a whole different conversation, because I think people define gender as what's between your head.
Yeah.
For me, I'm defining a woman as what's between her legs.
Okay. So if someone goes through a transition for you also, they become a woman?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'm accepting of that, yeah.
I could be a woman?
I guess I feel like everybody has certain aspects that make them both feminine and masculine, though. So I feel like we share common aspects in terms of, like, I would say that, for example, people expect men to be protective, but a woman can also be protective. If you think of a mother, she's protective of her own children. So I feel like, I guess there's aspects that merge. So I guess you can say that you could be a woman if you're imparting knowledge onto other people or speaking with kindness to other people. Yeah.
Like, I think it goes without saying what a biological woman is. But like, we won't go into that. That's a whole different debate.
People tend to disagree, especially.
Yeah, lots of people do tend to disagree.
But XY chromosome, XX, which one is? something like that.
No, using the science, I think it causes a lot of confusion sometimes when it comes to medical issues and stuff like that.
So you're for the science?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, like represent the thing that you feel inside, because you can't deny something like that. Does that make sense? Because you can't wake up and be like, I'm a dog, because no one actually has that feeling inside of
What
you.
if I do feel like a dog?
No, there's no like.
There are movements where people are transitioning into animals, as well as transable, as well as
Information, because they had like this whole thing about how now they're putting litter boxes in schools for kids who identify as dogs, and it wasn't even that. It was a whole. It was a whole thing about mass shootings, and it was in connection with how people tend to have, like, I think it was a whole panic thing, and how why they needed that in the room. It was in relation to mass shootings. It had nothing to do with kids now being like, I'm a cat, so I need a litter box. Like, it had nothing to do with that. Like, I think, yeah, again, like, it's hard for me to sit here and talk about this because it's not my experience, because I'm cis, I identify as a woman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, if we had conversations without misinformation included, then maybe people would be able to understand and empathize.
So a trans woman is a woman?
Yeah,
okay,
basically.
Cool. That's interesting, especially since you said you thinking of it from like a Christian perspective, and I don't think like the Christian perspective would say I'm a woman, so that's very.
I don't think per se they would immediately be like you're.
But
woman,
from
you
your
can have
definition,
aspects of, yeah.
I think I'm very kind, knowledgeable, so I could be.
I think that's a nice thing, especially I think if you're surrounded by women, you're going to get those aspects. You're going to find that being knowledgeable and being kind is something that you learn from women, and I think that doesn't necessarily make you a woman, but you're learning from them, if that makes sense, and you're getting those aspects and you're getting those traits. Or you can learn it from other places, but it still means that but I don't think you have to you have to define it by just that you have to be, if you're a woman, I feel like if you're a woman then you're kind and you're knowledgeable, but like you can have aspects of me. That makes sense.
So what I'm getting from you, correct me if I'm wrong, is mostly like trait driven, so nothing to do with sex.
Yeah. So
genitalia.
No, not necessarily. That's my opinion at least. I feel
Okay.
like you can have both feminine and masculine aspects, and which one you lean towards more is just how you feel, how your personality is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what's your honest opinion?
Okay, my honest opinion, a woman.
Yeah.
Honestly, females are women. And a woman is someone who's obviously like matured into like a certain, like we're all females, but we're not all women. Oh.
We're all
Yes.
we're all females, but we're all not women. Like, I'm a female as well.
No, man, you're not a
If you
female.
identify and you exude feminine characteristics, then you can be.
So it's just exuding feminine characteristics. And if you don't, you're not a woman.
No, man, that's not it. Okay, you know what? Because I can see some of us like to identify ourselves, differently.
Okay.
And not everyone wants to identify themselves as a woman. Not every female wants to identify themselves as a woman. So that's why I say not all females are women. Ish, my face is cute.
It's been weird, it's been awkward. Approaching a lot of people, but everyone's so flipping scared to be on the video and just share their opinion. It's quite odd. Like, everyone's super PC and they're scared that someday in the distant future, like 10 years from now, my video is gonna get them cancelled. Furthermore, it's quite odd that, like, for me, that what shocks me more is that people aren't free to say what they feel or what they think. Because it's okay to have your perspective, and there's nothing wrong with being wrong, and people are just like, the only reason why you'd be scared to get cancelled is if you have a problematic take. But yeah, that will not stop me from finding out what is a woman in the University of Witwatersrand. Let's go.
Anything you can say can be used against you. So that's why I have to think about.
Okay. So, from my understanding is if you... But isn't it a bit problematic if we use that same concept for everything else? So I can be like, I feel like a dog, therefore I'm a dog. Obviously, it's an extreme example. But isn't that like, it's it's a weird way to just say whatever you feel you are. Like, words have meaning, and if we don't like differentiate things, then like what's the point of the whole English language?
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, but it's just that thing, like, because this question obviously pops up when people are like trans, specifically with trans people who want to transition from male to female. And there's always that thing of like, no, you're not a woman, and now if you're a woman, what does that mean for womanhood? It's like, it's a construct. Like these things are made up by men, so it's not all encompassing of people who are black, people who are like just different things, because what it is a woman for a cis white woman is different from what's a woman for cis black woman, and etc, etc. Like, I might have a definition in my head, but a disabled person might not have that same perspective of what womanhood is. Does that make sense? It's just different across the board. So when you're trying to define something and say what it is, you end up leaving people out. So when someone is like, I'm a woman, you have to respect that person's perspective, because, like, again, with gender identity, specifically with trans people, it's always that thing of like, what's it? Like gender dysphoria. It's something inside of you is like, this is not right, the body that I'm in is not right, and if you keep denying that, it's unhealthy for you psychologically. So therefore, you must.
So it's if you identify, then you're a woman.
Yeah. The brain is different. I don't know.
Okay.
Not the format, like, but how the
biological.
Yes.
Different. Words have meaning. Yeah. So if everyone is a woman, then no one is a woman. Do you get? What's the difference between you and I? You know, like, am I a woman too? You know? No, I'm not. Okay.
Do you want to be
cancelled? You didn't even. You're just telling me what to identify as. You just.
Do you want to be a woman?
No, you know I'm joking. So I'm a woman.
No. Do you feel that, like, wait?
You just said it like at me.
Because I feel like you're doing it in that sense of like.
I'm asking.
I've seen like TERFs do this all the time, where they're having debates about.
What's a TERF?
Like trans exclusionist, radical feminist.
Okay.
There are some people. Well, it's basically feminists. Well, they're not even feminists. It's basically trans exclusionists who disguise themselves as feminists. But it's like this thing that they do constantly when they're having a discussion about trans people, where it's like, oh, I'm a man now because I'm a man for 5 seconds because I feel like a man. And it's like, you're literally dismissing a group of people who literally, like, I think, because now we see it like with children.
But
who are queer, who are actually feeling those emotions at a very young age, and just because you want to dismiss people and just be there like, okay guys, then if you can just do anything, then I'm a tree. Like, that's not how it works.
But there are non-binary people that genuinely feel like that. Like, one day they feel more masculine.
Yeah, but
there are cases where people do.
Gender, because it's fluid. Like, you can feel more. Have you not like had that thing where, like, when you're dressing or something, where you want to put on clothing that may be more masculine in a sense? Like, I think that's the thing where it's just like, I wish clothing and so many other things just didn't have like a gender binary connected to it. But it's just that thing of like, some people feel connected to a certain thing and they feel like this helps me express this aspect that I'm feeling.
Okay.
You know, like, that's why, like, I feel like girls do that all the time with makeup. We might want to feel more prettier than we did yesterday, so we put on makeup. And it's the same thing. It's just about expressing yourself and making yourself feel more comfortable in your own skin. But if you're doing it just to dismiss people and be like, oh, I'm a woman today then, like, you're not encompassing these people that have probably been feeling this feeling for years. You know?
Cool. Agreed. What is a woman? Did you?